Hamilton's Barcelona win did not just give Ferrari a victory. It may have exposed the one question Leclerc never wanted the team to ask. Who is Ferrari really building around now? Hamilton won in red. Ferrari's biggest upgrade package finally worked. The strategy favored the winning move. The momentum shifted. The cameras followed Hamilton. The championship story followed Hamilton. And suddenly Leclerc, the driver who carried Ferrari's hopes for years, was no longer the center of the project. There is no confirmed public Leclerc revolt, but the pressure is impossible to miss. Because in Formula One, a team does not need to announce a priority for a driver to feel it. One strategy call, one upgrade direction, one race win, one side of the garage suddenly becoming the future. That is how internal wars begin. And after Barcelona, Ferrari's biggest threat may not be Mercedes. It may be Leclerc realizing that Hamilton's dream is starting to look like Ferrari's priority. Subscribe to the channel. Barcelona did not create the Leclerc problem. It exposed it. Because long before Hamilton crossed the line in first place, Ferrari were already carrying a question they did not want to answer too soon. Two elite drivers, one ambitious car, one championship opening, one team that knows better than anyone how quickly emotion can become politics. For months, Ferrari could avoid the hardest part of that conversation. They could say both drivers were central. They could say the project needed Hamilton's experience and Leclerc's continuity. They could say the car was still being understood, still being developed, still searching for the window where it could fight Mercedes consistently. That was comfortable. Then Hamilton won, and comfort disappeared. Because a victory does something that no press statement can control. It gives one side of the garage authority, not official authority, not written authority, not the kind anyone needs to announce. Performance authority. Hamilton now has that. He is no longer only the legendary signing trying to adapt to Ferrari. He is no longer only the emotional gamble, the seven-time world champion who arrived with questions around age, form, and whether the dream had come too late. After Barcelona, he became the driver who turned Ferrari's biggest upgrade package of the season into a win. That changes how a team listens. It changes how engineers interpret feedback. It changes how strategists evaluate race plans. It changes how the factory feels when development directions are discussed. It changes how the media frames every decision. And most importantly, it changes how Leclerc looks at the team around him. Because Leclerc knows exactly what this means. He has lived inside Ferrari long enough to understand that momentum can become priority before anyone admits it. He knows that a team does not need to officially name a number one driver for the garage to begin leaning toward one side. He knows that championship logic can turn equality into theory and results into power. Hamilton's win did not make Ferrari declare a new hierarchy. It made the hierarchy question impossible to avoid. And for Leclerc, that is dangerous, because his place at Ferrari has never been ordinary. He is not a guest in the team. He is not a short-term solution. He has been part of Ferrari's emotional identity for years. He has carried the pressure of Maranello, carried the hope of fans who believed he could be the one to bring the title back, carried the pain of missed opportunities, strategic errors, and cars that were nearly good enough, but not complete enough. That history matters. But Formula One is brutal because history does not protect you from a stopwatch. Hamilton's win was the stopwatch speaking, and it spoke loudly. Ferrari brought a major upgrade package to Barcelona, a redesigned front wing, new bodywork, floor changes, a car that looked more balanced, more usable, more alive. Hamilton used it perfectly. He managed the tires. He trusted the strategy. He converted the moment. He gave Ferrari the result they had been waiting for. That means every person inside Ferrari now has evidence. Evidence that this development direction can win. Evidence that Hamilton can deliver in red. Evidence that the car can be shaped into something that suits his strengths. And once a team has evidence, it becomes very hard to ignore. That is where Leclerc's discomfort begins. Not jealousy, not weakness, not fear of Hamilton's name. Discomfort with what the win may mean for Ferrari's future decisions. Because the next upgrade does not exist in a vacuum. If Hamilton's feedback helped unlock the car, Ferrari will naturally listen more closely. If Hamilton's driving style matches the new regulations, Ferrari will naturally examine that direction. If Hamilton can preserve tires and turn strategy into victory, Ferrari will naturally want to build a race plan that gives him the best possible window. Again, that is not betrayal. It is logic. But inside a two-driver team, logic can still feel personal. Leclerc may look at the same situation and see a warning. He may see Ferrari beginning to reward the side of the garage that just delivered the headline. He may see a team that spent years promising him the future, suddenly discovering that Hamilton can win right now. He may feel that the emotional center of Ferrari has shifted without anyone saying the words. That is how internal tension starts. Not with an explosion, with a feeling. A driver walks into the debrief and senses the room has changed. A question that once came to him first now goes somewhere else. A development conversation begins with the race-winning car. A strategy meeting studies the choices that benefited the driver who won. The cameras wait outside the other side of the garage. None of it proves unfairness. All of it changes the atmosphere. That is why Barcelona is so important. Hamilton's victory did not only create joy, it created gravity. Everything began pulling toward his story. The comeback, the first Ferrari win, the emotional radio, the global reaction, the possibility of a championship charge. The idea that Ferrari's gamble had finally paid off. Leclerc was still part of Ferrari, but Hamilton became the center of Ferrari's moment. And moments matter in this team. Ferrari is not a normal racing organization. Ferrari lives through emotion. Every victory carries history. Every driver becomes a symbol. Every internal decision is judged by fans, media, Italy, and the memory of past champions. When Ferrari wins, the story grows larger than the result. Hamilton's Barcelona win became that kind of story immediately. For Leclerc, that makes the challenge bigger. He is not only fighting lap time, he is fighting narrative. And narrative can influence a team in ways nobody admits. If the entire world is talking about Hamilton's revival, the team feels it. If sponsors, fans, and media all gather around Hamilton's side of the story, the team feels it. If the championship suddenly looks more alive because Hamilton won, the team feels it. That does not mean Ferrari stopped caring about Leclerc. But it does mean Leclerc now has to fight to keep his weight inside the project. That is a different kind of pressure. And the most painful part is that Hamilton's win came at the exact moment Ferrari needed clarity. Mercedes were still strong. Antonelli was still a major title force before his late failure. Russell remained dangerous. McLaren were still collecting podiums. The season was tightening. Ferrari needed to decide how to maximize every opportunity. When a championship gets serious, teams stop being romantic. They become ruthless. If one driver has the stronger path, the team starts protecting that path. At first, subtly. A pit call here. An upgrade priority there. A more aggressive defense of track position. A strategic preference when the cars are close. Then, if the points gap grows, the choices become harder to hide. That is what Leclerc must fear. Not that Ferrari have already publicly chosen Hamilton, but that Barcelona gave them the first real reason to consider it. Before the win, Ferrari could say everything was open. After the win, Hamilton has proof that he can be the driver who turns Ferrari into winners again. That proof gives him political strength without him needing to demand anything. And Hamilton is too experienced not to understand that. He knows how teams move when championship opportunity appears. He knows how a garage begins to organize around results. He knows how to turn confidence into influence. He does not have to fight Leclerc directly. He only has to keep winning, keep scoring, keep giving Ferrari reasons to trust his direction. That is what makes him so dangerous. Hamilton's power after Barcelona is not loud. It is quiet because it is backed by the result. Leclerc's response has to be the same. He cannot win this battle through complaints. He cannot win it through media pressure. He cannot win it by trying to turn Ferrari against Hamilton. That would only make him look weaker. The only real answer is performance. He has to make Ferrari believe that ignoring his side of the garage would be a mistake. He has to put the team back into a dilemma. That is the only way to stop momentum from becoming priority. If Leclerc wins, Ferrari hesitate. If Leclerc beats Hamilton directly, the balance returns. If Leclerc proves the car can win through his feedback too, the development path becomes shared again. But if Hamilton keeps delivering, the pressure will build in one direction. That is why the next races are now dangerous for Ferrari. Not because the team is collapsing. Not because there is a confirmed public rebellion. Not because Leclerc has launched an official attack. The danger is that the internal question has been activated, and once it is activated, every small moment becomes evidence. If Hamilton gets the better strategy, people will connect it to Barcelona. If Leclerc is left exposed in a race, people will connect it to Barcelona. If the upgrades appear to suit Hamilton, people will connect it to Barcelona. If Vasseur praises Hamilton's feedback, people will connect it to Barcelona. If Leclerc sounds frustrated on radio, people will connect it to Barcelona. That is how a single victory becomes a season-long storyline. The team may try to control it, but the tension will live inside every race weekend. And Ferrari's biggest challenge is that both drivers have legitimate claims. Hamilton can say he delivered the win. He can say the car is now responding to him. He can say Ferrari brought him in for exactly this kind of moment, to turn pressure into victory, to bring championship experience, to make the team believe again. Leclerc can say he has carried the project longer. He can say he understands Ferrari's internal language. He can say he helped build the foundation Hamilton is now benefiting from. He can say the team cannot let one emotional win erase years of commitment. Both arguments are powerful. That is why the conflict is so dangerous. If one driver were clearly secondary, the team could manage it. If one driver had no political weight, the team could ignore it. But Hamilton and Leclerc are both too important to dismiss. One brings history and immediate winning credibility. The other brings continuity and deep Ferrari identity. Ferrari now have two centers of gravity, and Barcelona pulled one of them sharply toward Hamilton. That is the real first block of this story. The win did not prove Leclerc is finished. It did not prove Ferrari have chosen Hamilton. It did not prove an internal revolt has begun in public. It proved something more subtle and more dangerous. Ferrari now have a reason to choose. And once a team has a reason, the driver who might lose that choice feels it before anyone else does. That is why Leclerc's next move matters so much. He cannot let Hamilton's Barcelona win become the race that defines Ferrari's direction for the rest of the season. He cannot let the team's emotional energy stay locked around Hamilton. He cannot let the upgraded car become known as Hamilton's weapon. He cannot let the championship story become Hamilton against Mercedes while Leclerc becomes a supporting character in his own team.